Hi, welcome everyone. So, so this is our first webinar here at Chatlyn. It is half past, and since we are only scheduled for half an hour, I'm just going to start. And, when people want to still join in, they obviously can. So, my name is Laura. I am part of the customer success team here at Chatlyn. And with those webinars, we just want to have like a brief series where we show you some interesting features that you can use with Chatlyn. And they should never be too long, the webinars, because it shouldn't be too much information. It should just give you a nice overview. And yes, so we're planning to have a series of webinars. So hopefully there will be more with other topics. But today is all about newsletters and templates with Chatlyn. So as you know, WhatsApp is obviously really useful for marketing because it has such a high opening rate. It has a 98% opening rate in comparison to email that is obviously really high, since emails only get 21%, and most of the emails really just land in spam. And that's why Chatlyn can be such a great solution, because you can utilize WhatsApp so well for your marketing purposes. So the way we will do this, um, just as like a brief introduction, I will just share my screen in a minute and sort of show you the different things in Chatlyn. And you can always ask questions here in the chat. And my colleague Marco, who is with me, will have a look at the chat. And at the end, we will designate maybe 10 minutes to the questions and answer them in the group so that you can actually get like a good answer for it as well. Okay, so I won't talk too much more about the different organizational things, and I will simply share my screen and we will jump in straight into templates. So let me just share this. Okay, I think you should all be seeing my screen now. I am in the Chatlyn dashboard. Some of you might have seen this already, others maybe not. So basically, this is the main screen in Chatlyn. And from here, to get to our templates, you just need to click on the little envelope and it will lead you straight to the message templates. So here I have already prepared a few as well to show you as examples. But first, we will just act as if we just wanted to create a new template right now. So to do so, you will just click on the top right corner, Create WhatsApp Template, and then this will pop up. So here you have to fill in certain things. The first thing you need to fill in is an internal title. So this is just for you to see. This is very useful for later if you have hundreds of templates and you want to search for a specific one, hence the internal title. So let's just call it a test template for now, since we're just going to go through the different features here. Then the sender phone number. If you only connected one phone number, it will be this one by default. If you have several inboxes with WhatsApp, perhaps for different locations, different teams, you can always select which number this specific template should be sent from. Now, there's 3 different template types. We have marketing, utility, and consent templates. So I'll quickly just explain what that means. So basically, marketing template, I mean, it's quite self-explanatory, I suppose. This is any template you would like to send for like a typical newsletter. So if you wanted to send out newsletters to your customers, that would always be a marketing template. And I will get into why this is important in a second. Then you have utility. Utility would be more useful information for your customers. So for example, when you have, say it's a hotel and you're having a guest coming to the hotel and you want to give them some information about the check-in, or you want to send them a booking confirmation, that would be the utility type of template. And now, consent. That kind of goes hand in hand with marketing. So as you know, there is in most countries there are like strict rules about sending WhatsApp messages to people without their consent, and it can be often flagged as spam. So it's important to have that consent message that is automatically triggered after a marketing message. And so the customer has the option to actually opt out of the newsletter. So, say you send them a marketing message, and then it will be followed by a consent message saying, if you don't want to receive these messages from us, please just tap the button below. And then they just tap, and then they will be removed from the list, and you won't be contacting them anymore. So, this is important. This is something we strongly recommend, especially since Meta recently has just sort of increased their demands for security and spam and trying to really protect the customers. And so not doing the consent template means that Meta could flag you, even though you didn't maybe mean badly. You wouldn't want to be restricted by Meta because the consent template wasn't sent. So we strongly recommend the consent template. Yes, so that's basically how this works. You have those three different types, and I will show you how it's built. So let's start with a marketing template. If you click on next, you then have different options. Again, some of you might already be familiar with this, others are not. So I will just explain everything. So the first option you have is a header. You don't have to include one, but you can. You can either have bold text, so the text will be in bold here, but it's restricted to 20 characters. So it could be just like a little header. Or what we like to use and what we do recommend is images or videos. This is great for any kinds of promotions, anything you have on, any events. We've had customers in hospitality who love to send out videos for different seasonal events, different festivities. So this is really good for promotional purposes. Of course, an image is also really great. I guess it just creates like a very warm feeling for the customer, just something nice to look at. And yes, so this is the header where you can basically just insert a file. I will show you some examples as well after we've gone through all this. And here you can put your message body. So here you can say anything you would like in the newsletter. Hi, welcome to our newsletter. And the cool thing is you can really personalize it. So now I just wrote hi, but it doesn't have to just be that general, because if you have contacts saved on Chatlyn, you obviously have their names in here, right? So you can completely personalize it. You can put a placeholder and you can select what it is. So for example, you can say first name, and then it will pull the first name from your contacts and automatically personalize it. So if the person's called Anna, it will say, hi, Anna. If the person's called Marco, it will say, hi, Marco. The important thing with the placeholder here is that you need to give Meta sort of a guideline what you mean by first name. So they just need it because they check the templates. So always put an example name. It doesn't mean this will be the name that will be up there, but it will just be an example name. Okay, so otherwise, yes, so there's different personalizations you can put in. There's also custom attributes. I will not touch too much on this, but basically you can also create your own attributes you can fill in here, but perhaps this is something more detailed for another meeting. Great. So there's the footer. For the footer, this is often used as like a signature. So say you're a hotel and you want to sign off, but not in the same kind of font or letters, you can just say your Chatlyn Boutique Hotel, for example. And it's nice as like a little signature here. And now the best part. The best part for sure are the buttons. You have two different types of buttons. Once you have call to action buttons. So call to action buttons are really great if you just want to give the customer like a really easy solution to, for example, contact you or book something. So you can put a phone number down, for example, and have a call us now button. So when they click on it, they will just call you immediately. Or you can also have a button leading to your URL. So this is especially great, for example, again, in the hospitality sector when it's about a restaurant. You can have a button that straight away leads to the reservation site. So someone can click on, say, for example, reserve now, and then you would put the URL in here. And when they click on it, they can just straight away reserve their spot. So these are the call to action buttons. And then you also have quick reply buttons. So quick replies are slightly different. For quick replies, it basically just means that rather than the customer having to type an answer to you, they can select one from the 3 button options. So this is especially great in situations like when you're building a guest journey. We're not going to go into the automation builder today. There will be a separate webinar for that. But this is definitely part of it, and it could be really great. So you could give them different options, what they would like information about. Say they checked into your hotel, right? And you want to give them a selection. So in this case, it would be welcome to our Chatlyn Boutique Hotel. And what would you like? What would you like to know more about? And then you can give them just a selection of different things. For example, dining or spa or events. And based on whatever they click, there could then be another message that sort of gives them the information about their selection. So this is what the quick reply buttons are great for. Yes. So that's, I guess, the most important thing about this part. Another thing that is very useful is that you can create several templates in different languages at the same time. That only works if in your profile settings, you have selected additional languages. So you would have a main language. For me, in this setup in Chatlyn, this is English. And then you would have your additional languages in your profile setup. And here you can then select one of the additional languages or even both. So that just means that you only have to create the template in one language, and then you can just auto translate it into another language. So that way you can save a lot of time, and you can create several templates quickly at once in different languages. They will also sort of be saved under the same template, which will make things easier. And again, later on for the flow, if you have like an attribute where you have a preferred language for a customer, it would then also automatically send out the template in the preferred language of the customer. So this is definitely a cool feature that you can use for that. Great. So I'm just going to, so once you've actually created your templates, I am just going to remove the image because I didn't actually insert one here. You would then click on publish. So you would have to check that you publish all. So this is quite important. If you don't want to publish it yet, it's also good to know that you can just save it as a draft. You can save all of them as a draft, different languages, or just one specific one. And then you can keep editing it, because it's important that once you publish it, it goes to Meta, and Meta then checks the templates, and you can't edit them anymore. You can still copy them and then edit them, but you couldn't edit this specific template anymore. So if you still think you want to make some changes, you can just save it as a draft. But if you're ready and you want to publish it, and you want to publish them in all languages, it is important that you click on that little arrow here and click on publish all. So let's just do that now.
Laura, just
Yeah.
a quick interruption. Would it be possible to show to the customers if you just add a video to the template because it was requested. I think
Yeah.
we sent you something in Slack, so you can just take
Okay,
that
I
video.
muted my Slack. I'm sorry. Okay, let me just, yes, I will download this and we can totally do this. So, right, let me just, so I can actually, it's actually perfect because I can show you now how you would also copy a template. So say you already published it. So this is like a different one now. But say you published a template already, so which you can, and it's approved by Meta, you can always see when it's approved because it will have that, it will be green, it would be yellow if it's still pending, if Meta is still checking. So you still can edit it. You can just, you can't edit this specific template, but you can make a copy of it, give it a new title. I'm just going to call it video now, test template video. And then you still have the same text and everything is kept here, but you can still put things in. So for example, now I've decided I want to put a video in there, so I copied it. So now I will just put the video in here. 1 second. The video seems to be too big. So the video needs to be less than 60 megabytes, and the one that I was sent is too big. So just so you're aware, there is a limit, a restriction on how large the file is, and it's less than 16 megabyte. Cool. Okay, so I don't know, Marco, did you want to convert it or shall I?
I think we already have it. I think we already have it converted. Check in Slack
Okay.
again.
Yes,
Yeah.
great. Brilliant. Okay, so let's try again. This file should now work. There we go. So as long as it's less than 16 megabyte, it will work. As you can see, the video is now in the message, and this is what it looks like here. Okay, so now I could publish this. And again, so for example, if you didn't want to publish it in all the languages, you could just say, I just want to publish it in English. So I'm just going to do this in that case. So it's just loading now. Sometimes with the video, it can just take a little bit longer since it's just a slightly bigger message. And there you can see it's pending approval right now from Meta since they approve all the different templates. Okay, so before I will show you a couple of examples, I just wanted to also show you in the settings briefly. So in the settings and then on inboxes, and then specifically on the WhatsApp inbox, and then on opt-out. This is where you would enable the automatic opt-out template. And there's basically two types. So first, they would get an option to opt out. And if they click the button, they will get a goodbye template. And I will show you what that looks like. So let's go back to our templates because I prepared some here. So this would be the message that they get after a marketing template. If you no longer want to receive messages from us, please tap the button below. And then if they click it, they will get the next message, which is this one, for example. Sorry to see you leave. If you change your mind, you can opt in by tapping the button below. So it's important to give them an option to opt back in because some people might also click it by accident. So we do recommend that as well, just in case someone might have just clicked it and not actually intentionally wanted that. You can obviously completely personalize the text again, and this is just an example of what it can look like. Right, so yes, so for a guest journey sort of, you could, if you wanted, if you were, for example, at a hotel, you could send a guest a message upon arrival and welcome them to the hotel. And as I said, just give them different options. And Yeah, so for a utility template, on the other hand, it would be something like this, the check-in information. So you could then give them an option of book like an airport transfer, airport shuttle, or you could give them information about the check-in, and then obviously also the booking confirmation. And then after their stay, for example, you could then send out a newsletter template where you give the customer a discount for their next stay or such. And since we have now 10 minutes left, I would just stop here and see if there's any other questions so that we have enough time to answer them. Marco, do we have any other questions?
At the moment, no open questions, as
No
it
open
seems.
questions.
If you have any open questions, now is the time to drop them in the chat.
Yes, feel free to ask away. And you can ask about anything. Aha. So I think we have a question now. How do you collect the data? I assume you mean the data for like the contacts, the customer contacts. So there's actually different ways in chatlyn. So this is a little bit away from templates, but yes, so there's several ways. I probably won't be able to like tell you details about each of them, but I will try and touch on all of them. So one way is, for example, different PMS tools that are used can, if they work especially through webhooks, be connected with chatlyn. That really depends on the PMS because it depends how compatible they are, how open they are with webhooks. But generally, chatlyn with the workflows is fairly open. And as long as it can be API connected with a JSON file, you can get contacts directly from the booking system, for example. But that really depends on the PMS that you are using. So that's just one way. But even if that is not the way you want to use, there's other ways. Say you have a list with contacts and you just want to import them to chatlyn. That is another possibility. You can download your list, save it as CSV, and then upload it to chatlyn. There are certain guidelines, but I can totally just send that information to you if you want to know more about this. And then the third option, which is also a great way, is to create a QR code. So we've got actually on our website like a QR code generator. I will briefly share it with you. So it looks like this. And here you would put in the phone number from your inbox and a pre-typed message that will be shown to the customer after they've scanned the QR code. And once they hit send and send the message to you, a guest journey will be started and they will be automatically saved as a contact. So these are, I would say, the three like most used ways to generate contacts. And again, I'm just touching the surface here because we don't have that much time. But of course, feel free to contact us if you would like some more information about it. Great. So, do we have any other questions? What is a placeholder? Great question. Let me just swap back. So a placeholder just means in the template that you can have it personalized. So instead of just saying hi and you as a guest receive the message and it just says hi, it would, for example, say hi Laura if I add this placeholder, because I am here saved in chatlyn as a contact. It gets the information from chatlyn, from the contact database. So that is basically just all a placeholder means. So you just select it here. Meta just needs an example, but then it will be pulled from the contact. So even if you send a message, say to 100 people, all of them will be individualized by saying their first name. So you send it to 100 people, and for each person, it will say a different name, whatever their name is that they're saved under in Chatlyn. Hi, Laura. Hi, Marco. Hi, Anna. Hi, Josh, and so on. So it will just look a bit more personal, like you've actually written the message to the people, rather than generated it all with one click of a button. Is that clear? Okay, can you repeat the maximum size of videos? It was 16, yes, 16 megabytes. Oh yeah, I also saw a message from Marcel, one of my colleagues, who said Zapier also works for contacts. Yes, as I said, there's a lot of ways to get contacts. And whenever you want to find out more about that, just feel free to speak to us, and then we will set up a call with probably Marcel in it, since he's our expert on that topic. Great. So do we have another question? Can you create auto-scheduled templates, for example, a reminder template if someone does not reply after? Yes. So this would be more going into the journeys, into the automation journeys, where you can actually put in a lot of different sort of conditions. You can put in weights, you can work with a lot of things here. I don't even want to go into it because we only have 3 minutes left, but there will be another session on the automation builder, the automation studio. So of course, you can always contact us as well, but we will have another session where we dive more into that, because it's just also a little bit more complex. I could never cover it in 3 minutes, but we can definitely do that. And yes, you can have a weight, etc., and you can send like a reminder message out. Cool. Do we have another question? Do you mean specifically the data like of the contacts, or where we store our data? Maybe you could just I don't think we got an update. Okay, of the contacts, and yes, we're used to. So the contacts are just saved here within Chatlyn. So you can also have different lists. Again, this is probably another topic that we could talk a lot more about. So you can sort of categorize them by different, by different things. And then our data in general, please, Marcel, correct me if I'm wrong, or Marco, I'm pretty sure it's stored in the US. Okay, so I just want to double check to make sure I'll give you the correct information, but gonna wait for my colleague to confirm. Anyways, are there any other questions in the meantime? Okay, great, Marcel. It is not the US, it is in Europe and AWS. Thank you so much. Great. Thanks for clarifying that one. So there's your answer on where we store the data. Do you provide this marketing service? Can you elaborate what exactly you mean by this marketing service? The template flow? So the template flow, yes, we provide that. So we've got our automation studio here, and this is something that we can set up with you together. And basically, depending on what your needs are, we can set this up. You sent the templates first. Well, it's basically automated. So if you set up a template flow, it's automated. So once it's set up, it just runs on its own, basically. It just needs to be set up once, and we always do that with the customer together. So we would see what your needs are, and then we would jump on a call and set it up together. But of course, there's also a lot of customers who would like to have a go themselves, and that's why we think another webinar about the automation flows will be quite handy, so that everyone can have a look at that as well. Okay, I think we are actually just at time. Are there any other questions? Yes, support is there to help you, of course, no problem. Okay, so if there's no other questions, you will all get that video, the recording sent after this meeting. And of course, if you have any questions, if you would like to contact us, please just reach out to us. Send us the best email to contact us all is on behappy@chatlyn.com. That's where we all are under that email. So we all have an eye on that. And yeah, so I hope you all have a great day. And thank you for attending our first webinar. And then I hope we will see each other soon at our next webinar. Thank you so much. Bye.